Hello everyone, in this session we are going to discuss about the relationship between the coefficients and the zeros of a quadratic equation and a cubic equation. But before moving on with the session, we are close to 200 subscribers. So if you are attending the session for the first time, I suggest you hit the subscribe button. And if not, if you are attending the session regularly and still not subscribing it, then also subscribe. Thank you. Now let us move on with the today's session. Alright, we all know that a zero of a linear polynomial, say ax plus b equals to 0, is given by minus b upon a. As it is a linear polynomial, there is only one zero to it. That can be solved and given by the formula minus b upon a. Okay, let us discuss about a quadratic equation. Suppose if we have 2x square minus 8x plus 6 equals to 0, and if I want to find the solution, the zeros of this equation, I'm going to use the splitting the middle term method. For that, multiplying the first term with the last term in such a way that on finding the factors of it, you get the middle term. On adding the factors of it, you get the middle term. So 2 into 6, 12, and the factors are already in front of you, 2 and 6, such a way that if you add both the numbers, you get minus 8. We have to be careful with the signs because in the middle term we have a minus 8. So I'm splitting the middle term like this: 2x square minus 2x minus 6x plus 6 equals to 0. Taking out a common from the first two terms, that would be 2x, x minus 1, writing the same bracket again over here, x minus 1 equals to 0. Now thinking about what to take out common from the last two terms, that would be minus 6. So now the common bracket one time, that is x minus 1, and the remaining portion in the other bracket, that is 2x minus 6 equals to 0. Now either x minus 1 equals to 0 or 2x minus 6 equals to 0. Let us compare the two brackets. If x minus 1 equals to 0, then what would be the solution? And if 2x minus 6 equals to 0, then what could be the solution? If x minus 1 is equal to 0, then the value of x will be equal to plus 1. So one of the zeros of this equation is 1, and if 2x minus 6 equals to 0, then x would be equal to 3. Solutions possible are either x is equal to 1 and x is equal to 3. Now let us just keep these answers in mind. One of the solution is 1 and the other solution is 3. Let me write the equation one more time for you. 2x square minus 8x plus 6 equals to 0, and the solution for this equation is 1 and 3. Now if we remember about the coefficients, the coefficient of x square is a, the coefficient of x is b, and the constant term is c. We are trying to establish a relationship between the coefficients and the zeros of the solution. So from this, if we say the value of a is 2, the value of b is minus 8, and the value of c is 6. Is it okay? Okay, now moving on. Suppose from the zeros we have 1 and 3. What if I get the sum of the zeros? Let me write sum of zeros. The zeros were 1, we are taking the sum, and the other 0 was 3, so 1 plus 3, the answer would be 4. Now what if I give you a shortcut formula to find the sum of zeros? Let us take minus b divided by a, this formula to get the sum of zeros, minus the value of b divided by the value of a. The value of b is minus 8, so minus 8, the value of a is 2. Okay, now minus of minus 8 will give me plus 8 divided by 2, and 8 on 2 will give you the answer 4. So the sum of zeros, if you are doing it by the formula, or like this, then the answers are same. So what we need to remember is the sum of the zeros can be given by using this formula minus b upon a for finding the sum of the zeros. This is the relationship between the coefficients and the zeros. Okay, now let me multiply the zeros and take a product of it, and then again we will have a formula to do it in a short way. Let me take the product of zeros. Zeros are 1 multiplied by 3, and the answer is 3. Now what if we use the coefficients, a shortcut formula to find the product of zeros? It would be c upon a. Now c is 6 divided by a is 2. 6 on 2 will give you 3. So on using the formula or the coefficients, you get the same answer by using the numbers. So the product of the zeros can be given by the formula c on a. So in short, the sum of zeros, I'm writing it in short, the sum of zeros can be given by a formula minus b upon a, and the product of zeros can be given by using a formula c on a. This is applicable to the quadratic equations. Now what if you have a cubic polynomial? For example, ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d equals to 0. What if you have a cubic equation? As it is a cubic equation, the maximum number of zeros would be 3, and zeros are generally written as alpha, beta and gamma. The zeros are written as alpha, beta and gamma. If it is a quadratic equation, then you have at most 2 zeros that would be represented by alpha and beta. As this is the case of a cubic, there are 3 zeros, alpha, beta and gamma. Now if there is a cubic equation, then what is the relationship between the coefficients and the zeros of the equation? That can be given like this: the sum of zeros, summation of zeros, it also has, let me write it like this, alpha plus beta plus gamma. It also has a shortcut formula that is same as the quadratic equations, minus b upon a, and the product of zeros can be given by this formula alpha into beta into gamma, that is given by a formula minus d upon a. There is one more term in the case of a cubic polynomial that is known as sum of product of zeros. That is, we are taking the products as well as the sum of the zeros, that is represented like this: alpha beta, the product of the zeros, plus beta gamma, the product of the zeros, plus alpha into gamma. And the formula to find this is c upon a. So don't have a confusion in the formulas, be clear with it.